Hi, I'm Jerry and I'm just going to give you a video tour of the Cube. Welcome. The first thing to make clear is that this is a really lovely car in terrific condition for its age. It's just passed its MOT just before the coronavirus started and it hasn't been driven since. It has 4 good tyres, brand new momentum wheel trims, a brand new catalytic converter, a new exhaust box, new carpet mats, an upgraded battery and, very importantly, the car has been carefully serviced throughout its life and the all-important cam chain has been renewed by a reputable local garage. As you can see, the Cube looks really lovely in its sparkling metallic blue paintwork and the bodywork is exceptionally solid. Like any car of this age, it has been subject to gravel chips, of course it has, but the very few gravel chip impacts are absolutely tiny, and in any case most of the bodywork at the front is plastic, so these tiny imperfections shouldn't result in any rust or any problems like that. For the rest of the bodywork, the roof is in superb shape and the window frames and the wind deflectors are also in great condition, as is the satin black paintwork on the door pillars and around the vent area. All excellent condition. Now, importantly, there are 2 minor defects in the bodywork, and I'll show you around them now, so that you can see for yourself that they are relatively insignificant. First, there are a couple of tiny dents, one on the passenger door and one on the rear near side wheel arch. But these dents are so small that you can hardly notice them, and the paintwork around them is not cracked, split or damaged in any way. In this next section of the video, you may be able to make out the tiny dent towards the upper part of the passenger door, but it is pretty hard to spot. The same is true for the tiny dent on the rear near side wheel arch. The only other defect on the bodywork is that the paintwork on the rear near side panel is faded. This section was resprayed a couple of years ago after a tiny scrape in a car park, but there was obviously a problem with the job because it has since slightly faded, as you can see in this video section. I've had a quote to fix the paintwork on this particular panel of about £150, but unfortunately the coronavirus restrictions prevent this work from being carried out. However, I've taken it into account when setting the price. The good news is that every other aspect of the bodywork is exactly as described in the advert, i.e. exceptionally good for the age of the car and solid throughout. One reason that the bodywork is in such good condition is that the car was properly and professionally undersealed when it first arrived in the UK, which is not at all the case with an awful lot of Cubes that are for sale. Just take a look at the superb condition of the sills and the underside of the car in this next section of the video. Whilst we are looking at the underside of the car, it is worth mentioning that cars of this age and mileage often fail an MOT due to a catalytic converter failure. That can be really expensive to fix because a Nissan catalytic converter for a Cube costs over £1,500 to buy and install. The good news is that this particular Cube comes with a brand new catalytic converter, so you don't need to worry about that. Better still, the entire exhaust system has recently been checked and the rear exhaust box is new, as you can see in this video section. Now let's move on to the interior of the car. There are no faults whatsoever with the interior, and no one in our family smokes, so there is no risk of smells or ash or burn marks. The seat fabric is in excellent shape, as is the roof lining and the dashboard. The Cube may be a little car, but as you can see, it has a ridiculously large and practical boot. In fact, I can confirm that you can get 4 golfers and all their golf bags in the car with no problem whatsoever. Now, one common weak point for Cubes is that the hinge area on the rear door can leak water and can become very rusty. I've seen this on quite a few cars. Good news here. As you can see from the video section, the rear door and the hinge area is in fabulous condition, so that's no problem. Now let's take a look at the rear seating area. As you can see, the seats are clean and in good condition, and new carpet mats have been installed throughout. The front seats are very comfortable and in good shape. Looking round the front cabin, you'll see that this particular Cube comes equipped with a very good quality Garmin sat-nav and also a top-of-the-range Bluetooth compatible Phillips radio. Very few Cubes at this price come with a good quality sat-nav. A Garmin of this type costs around £400 to be professionally installed. Now let's move around to the front and have a look under the bonnet. As you can see, everything is clean and tidy as you would expect in a car that has been maintained by a qualified engineer. You may note that the battery has been upgraded to a 45 amp hour unit, which basically means that you should have very reliable starting even in the depths of winter. Now at this point, it's reasonable to ask why such a lovely car is priced at this level, since other Cubes in equally excellent mechanical condition with new catalytic converters, full in MOTs and great interiors typically sell for about £2,900. There are 3 reasons for the price being set as it is. Firstly, as I explained earlier, the paintwork on the rear offside panel has faded and it could cost £150 or so to have resprayed. In addition, the remote key fob has become unreliable. It usually closes the car remotely, but it struggles with opening it. This has never bothered me because I'm happy to open the door in the usual way with the key, and in any case, the car comes with the spare key and immobiliser fob. A new battery for the key remote fob costs about £4 on eBay. But, as I say, this has never bothered me, and it doesn't in any way interfere with the opening and closing of the doors or the operation of the vehicle's security system. The only other flaw that I am aware of in the entire car is that the driver's side window control panel works just fine for all of the windows except the front passenger side window. It seems to wind the window up, but sometimes doesn't want to wind it down. Once again, this has never really bothered me because the window control on the passenger side works just fine. So in a little car like the Cube, it's no problem to just lean over and open it that way, or the passenger can open it. If you wanted to change it, a new window control unit can be easily sourced on eBay and usually costs around £60 or so. Fitting one is really simple, it just clicks in and out of the door panel. For your interest, there are quite a few specialist Cube breakers, and I can supply details if necessary. I've found these guys to be really good to produce excellent quality Cube spares if you want to do it that way. So that's it. The 3 minor defects I've pointed out are the only weak points on an otherwise fantastic, stylish and really reliable car. It's very important for me to do an honest trade, and so I've reduced the price of the car, as I said, by £1,000 from the price for equivalent Cubes that I've found on eBay. An awful lot of Cubes at this age either have rust problems or are not equipped with decent sat-navs, Bluetooth compliant radios, or all of the other things that have been upgraded on this car. So that concludes the inspection tour. I hope that you've appreciated the absolute honesty of the presentation. This much loved car has never let our family down in many years of ownership. It drives beautifully, The gearbox is smooth. You can set out for a trip of any distance at all in absolute confidence and comfort. Finally, I'd just say that obviously the car is equipped with a rather unique branding on the bonnet. If you wanted to take this off, it's really no problem. It is very solidly applied, but it comes off, I'm told, very easily with a hairdryer if you're very careful about the way you do it. And apparently it doesn't leave marks on the bodywork. However, we put it on for a joke many years ago, and it's attracted huge interest and lots of smiles wherever we go. And we've met all kinds of interesting people just because they're interested in the rather unique style of the thing. Thank you for listening.